But to talk about more of those weather hazards as we get into your holiday week, we have meteorologist Michaela Smith to join us here. So Michaela is going to show you your travel weather, are those flights going to get canceled? Who's going to get the most snow? Michaela, break this down for us and let's talk about their Thanksgiving forecast. Because a lot of people are headed out the door.
A lot of people heading out the door. It's not one of those years that we're talking like a major snowstorm. There's sometimes that around Thanksgiving you hear people being like, oh, huge blizzard. It's going to crazily impact travel. I don't think that's really going to be a concern for this year, but we still, if people are leaving today or tomorrow, we talked about the severe hazards already, like that might stop people a little bit.
Yeah. So wait, you're saying that those models that I saw last week are not going to verify to a major snowstorm across Kansas this year?
I know. It's so hard.
It's a bummer, right?
Those people that like to post things, 10, 15 days out, and then it doesn't happen.
Well, I guess wait until I post my Christmas forecast. But for Thanksgiving, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So you can see some of these snow totals that Taylor was kind of showing you where you could see some snow is going to be North, South Dakota, or even areas like Minneapolis. You probably have one of the better chances to see some snowfall leading up to Thanksgiving, but it's not uncommon to see snow in those kind of areas. And again, what this is showing you right now, some snow in the forecast. This is just one model is showing this on this round of this model. If we showed you this 3 hours later, this would look very different. So don't take this to the bank right now. But there you just kind of have you look through your holiday weekend after your Friday. If you have any plans still, maybe you're going to do some shopping early Friday. And then as you head towards the weekend, there's a little bit more snow possible. A lot of that snow is going to be in northern states though, and the mountains. How is that going to impact travel? Well, let's look at those travel plans over the next several days. Here's Monday at about 7:30. You can see maybe some areas more to the north could be dealing with some travel delays, as well as where the storms are going to be at today. Parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, you may be dealing with some kind of delays. Then you go into tomorrow. This is right around 10 o'clock. This is showing for really windy conditions. Now, do I actually think it's going to cause major impacts in Rapid City, in Fargo? I don't think it's going to be maybe as high. You could see more minor delays. That could be a possibility, but this is showing more for wind tomorrow, not as much hail or ice. And then as you get into, you can see Tuesday night, maybe areas like Omaha, Minneapolis, you're seeing some of that wind. You head into Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Just at this point too, I think a lot of this is pulling, it could be slightly delayed because of how many people are traveling to. So areas like Chicago, pack your patience, Detroit, Pittsburgh, we could be dealing with some more heavy rain too at that point. So that's kind of looking into Wednesday night. And then actually on Thanksgiving, you're not really overly concerned with heavy rainfall. We're not overly concerned with blizzard conditions, any major ice storms happening. So I'm not seeing too many major travel impacts on Thanksgiving morning or on Thanksgiving evening for any people that are traveling. And then once you get to Friday, we start to see more maybe wind coming back across parts of the plains. Even then, it's not going to really impact your Thanksgiving forecast. Let's look at some extremes though across the US for Thanksgiving. You can see the warmest Thanksgiving that I pulled here was 92 degrees. This was in Los Angeles. That was back in 2017. Now, one of the coldest Thanksgivings that I pulled, 22 degrees. That was 1871 in New York. But very fittingly, New York gets cold around Thanksgiving. Not that long ago, actually in 2018, also I want to remind you, 22, that's not the low, that's the high. The low this day was 15 degrees, and that's still the coldest that New York has been on Thanksgiving. But in 2018, they had a high temperature of only 28 degrees. You always, or a lot of people like to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Very cold conditions in 2018. Rainiest I pulled Oklahoma City, 1.59 inches, that was 1896. And snowiest, Colorado, you really stood out here. Almost 9 inches of snow, that was in 1928. So Denver had quite a snowy Thanksgiving. Sometimes talk about snowy Christmases. No, it was a white Thanksgiving back in 1928. So that's a fun look at some of those extremes. I just pulled somewhere randomly across the middle of the U.S. just to kind of get you an idea of the plains. Areas like Dallas, your forecast is going to be pretty similar on Thanksgiving Day. So a lot of people are going to start off a little bit cooler in the morning, 40s, 50s, warming up into the 50s, maybe 60s if you're lucky in the afternoon. Areas more to the south like Dallas. If you go further to the north, you're probably talking about a little bit cooler. So if you're Kansas, other places, you're 50s, 40s. And then as you go throughout the evening, temperatures will start to cool back down again. So we're not talking about any really major concerns for rain or snow on Thanksgiving Day, but it's sweater weather. So if you're kind of planning that Thanksgiving outfit now, I think you might want to include maybe a jacket. Here's a look again at some of those temperatures. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, so the day before Thanksgiving. You're seeing some 30s, some 20s to the north. Check out Bismarck, 23. Then you get to Wednesday evening, and you're sitting in the 20s and 30s still in some places, only the 40s and 50s to the south. So that colder air is starting to move in. On Thanksgiving Day, you're sitting right around 6 a.m. There's more of those 20s and 30s. Check out Bismarck, 15. They may be talking about some cold conditions, cold turkeys Thanksgiving morning. And then in the afternoon, only 20s in Minneapolis. That's where they could be talking about some snowfall, 30s in Detroit, 40s in Philadelphia. So again, sweater weather, jacket weather on Thanksgiving Day. But the further you go to the south, you're talking about highs in the 60s. Corpus Christi's all the way in the 70s still on Thanksgiving Day. I'm gonna bring Taylor back in now. We're gonna talk about maybe any plans after Thanksgiving. I know some people do like to get out early still and shop on Friday morning. Might be cold then.
I think it will be cold on Friday morning, so grab your jacket, maybe the gloves, the hand warmers.
Yeah.
We'll be honest, we were at the OU game on Saturday, and it made me realize that we were out of hand warmers, and so Amazon immediately bring those hand warmers because it's gonna get cold, and I am not a person that likes to stay cold. But I know that you enjoy the cold weather more than I do.
You can dress for the cold. That's my thing. Like when it's cold outside, you can put layers on, you can get hand warmers. When it's so hot, it's just to the point that you're miserable, and I've just always been on that stance that like, if you're too hot, at some point you can't do anything about it. Like you're still just hot and sweaty.
I agree with that. Well, if you like the cold weather and you're ready for some of this more mild weather to
go away,
be done with that for the year, yes, we are getting cooler as we head into Friday and Saturday, and I think into early December as well. We're going to see those cooler temperatures stick around. So
the polar plunge is coming.
The winter lovers out there are getting excited right now. Michaela, thank you for that Thanksgiving forecast. A lot of people are planning their trips, so make sure that you plan wisely. We did talk about those cooler temperatures. Woohoo! Look at all that blue entering the map. We have temperatures down into the 40s by Friday morning in Oklahoma City. We got the teens, they're popping up. 15 degrees in Bismarck, 13 degrees in Minneapolis. So Friday looks mild for the south, cold for the north. How does this compare to what we would normally see this time of the year? With the reds, they're going away. We're not above average anymore as we head into the end of this week. Temperatures are cooling down to below average, so cooler than what we would normally see this time of the year for a good portion of the U.S. So we're talking about central, even into the eastern portion of the U.S. here. What about long term? So as we head into the end of November and early December, well, we told you earlier it's going to get cold. There's that polar plunge that Michaela was talking about, and it's staying chilly all the way through the early portion of December, so it really will feel more like a true winter weather as we head into December. It also looks like we're going to stay pretty active in terms of wet weather. Now, we're not talking about severe weather here. You take away that heat and you bring in the cold, your severe weather chances go down drastically. So what does this mean? This will be cold rain and potential snow across a good portion of the U.S. Your rainfall or precip chances, precip totals, look a lot higher than average for this time of the year. For more weather updates on the tornado, hail, and wind risk today, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We will be keeping you updated on that severe weather potential for today and tomorrow, so give us a follow to stay up to date. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here same time, same place tomorrow.